It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
As you're starting to, budget your life, what has to give in your relationship? If you had to cut out one thing to save your family some money, what would it be? We had a very, very interesting answer from a woman named Tracy who's going through this exact thing. And what her husband wants to cut out, nobody's a big fan of it. If you missed it during the live show, you're going to want to catch up on it in the podcast in a couple seconds. Here we go. I know Kat wanted to spend some time on this. So basically what we're looking for are your goofy stories, the ones that you just can't really explain. So the other day you're in your basement, you see a shadow. What do you do?
So out of, the back window of the back part of our basement, we don't have window treatments down there. And it just didn't feel right. And I look over and it was a shadow walking by the window. I know what I saw. I'm not going to be told that I just saw nothing. And then I go to get sparkling water from the bar, which is near the window. And I'm like, I have that feeling again. And I look over and it walked the other direction.
Could have this been a neighborhood dog?
No, it was filling up the entire window. That would have had to have been a massive dog, a Newfoundland. It was the stride of legs, and I didn't even go try to check it out. I didn't want to. I'm like, if something is going to try to get in here, it is what it is.
So what happened to you that was a little bit unexplainable? You want to read this text that we got?
Yeah, this one from Miranda. It's not supernatural, but when I was in high school, I was home alone. I was vacuuming my room. I saw movement out of the corner of my eye, and I yelped. And then I realized I had saw my own reflection in the mirror.
There it is.
A second later, the back door slammed. I looked out the window, and a man was running down our driveway. Miranda, that is crazy. What's your next move? What happens
You got to
next?
call the cops, right?
You got to call the cops. You have to lock every door. That is scary to know that somebody was in your home, and that was them. Even if you...
So that was a little explainable, right? I'm looking for the unexplainable stuff. Alex, what do you got for us here, bro?
Okay, I haven't really told anyone this. I feel like people are judge me or think I'm crazy or something.
No judgment zone here except for JJ.
I'll judge you, but we'll get to that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was camping last summer just by myself, just get away from it all, and I was in my tent. I went to bed. I woke up, and everything I had was moved 20 feet away from my tent. Everything that was in it, my cooler, everything that was outside of it, everything was exactly where it was, but shifted over 20 feet.
And there's
That
not
is
just a
crazy.
chance that you forgot where all your stuff was?
No, there's no way. It was the same configuration. There's basically a gap in all the stuff where my tent would be, but my tent was in the original place and everything else was in a completely different place.
So what do you think happened?
Dude, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never been into the supernatural, but I honestly, I kind of hope that's what it was, because I'd rather it be abducted, put back down in the wrong place, rather than some guy or group of people moved my stuff. Why would anyone want to do that?
So now, me, if I'm with my boys and we're camping at the next campsite or whatever, I'm doing that just as a joke. I'm goofing on you. You think
Right.
a bunch of aliens came down and just moved your stuff 20 feet?
And you didn't hear anything? You didn't hear any commotion? Because I feel like moving all that would be an effort.
No, I'm a really light sleeper. Things going bump or a car door slamming in my neighborhood wakes me up all the time at home. So I
Oh
would
my
have
God.
heard if there were people rummaging and moving stuff. I didn't hear anything. I didn't wake
I
up
would
at
have
all.
been so freaked out. I would never camp by myself. That's insane.
Well, I don't think I'm ever going to do it again.
So what do you think this was, Kat? All his stuff got moved 20 feet while he was sleeping. You think maybe
I think
he
it was
just
the Squatch.
forgot?
But that's really weird. That's Blair Witch stuff right there, where you just randomly run into a huge pile of rocks that were man-made.
Do you
The
think
unexplainable.
maybe he just forgot where he left all his stuff?
I think if you go to bed and everything looks one way and then everything else is moved over 20 feet, you think there was just a high wind, maybe brought his tent over a little bit?
High winds don't just accidentally move all your stuff.
Yeah, there's no way he would have slept through that too.
The unexplained portion of our show. Things you just can't explain. What happened to you? Hi, Amy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Great. Thanks for asking. What happened that you really just can't explain? It was kind of eerie.
So this was back in high school, and still back in the mid 80s. Sorry, I forgot when I graduated.
Okay.
And I got home from school, and my stepdad said, "Why weren't you in school today?" I was. He said, "No, you weren't. I saw you on the deck." And I said, "I was in school today. Called school." And he did. And my, the principal and everybody looked at the classes, and yeah, she checked in for every class. She was here. And I said, "See, told you."
So what did he see?
3 days later, don't know. 3 days later, I saw him. And this is outside of the house on the deck. And I told him, I said, "So why weren't you at work today?" He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You were not at work today. I saw you on the deck." And he said, "I was too at work." And I said, "No, you weren't. I saw you on the deck." And he's like, "I'm not going to sit here and argue with you." And I said, "You said that you didn't see me at school, and now I'm telling you that I didn't see you at work. Who was out there then?"
So what's going on? You think like residual reflections from? I wish I knew what
our
was going on.
backyard. So like we had our backyard, and then behind that was a huge graveyard.
Oh man. Okay, now you got my attention.
Yep, the graveyard has since been not really maintained as well, but back then it was the main graveyard. We lived in a very small town, and it didn't happen. That wasn't the only time that happened. I would get calls from my mom, "Is she in school today?"
So this is 40-some years ago that this is all happening, and you haven't been convinced otherwise that it wasn't a ghost?
Oh, no, I know it was.
Yeah. And is it you?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it just like the likeness? Because
it's
that's
me. I am. I don't call myself. I'm nowhere near a psychic, nothing like that. But I am. I do see myself as a sensitive.
Yeah.
You don't think you were maybe just throwing some extra mushrooms in the gravy or something like that?
And that is such a conscious decision to move right in front of a graveyard. Like, did you get money off the house? I don't know if I could do that.
We moved there when I was only 10, and then left there when I graduated. And so, yeah. So, but I've had other experiences, several. I can't even count how many. And then I started getting kind of the yucky bad stuff trying to come in, so I just kind of shut that part of my life out, and I just don't deal with any of it at all
until you call Dopey radio shows and explain it all to us, and we go, "Oh, she's a crackpot."
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you checking in. I want to grab some of these other stories, but thank you for your story. I got time for one more of these real quick. Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Beat those. What do you got that's unexplained?
Well, my sister and I were heading to the casino, and I had a headache. So I was just kind of chilling with my head back in the seat, and she was blasting her rap music. And all of a sudden, like something flashed across me. It was almost like a news radio, or like I'm reading a newspaper, and it said, 2 teenage sisters in critical condition after hitting a deer.
You had a premonition.
And I just went, yes. And I was like, "Oh, break." And she braked, and no lie, we were like an inch from a deer, and she wasn't paying attention because she was just bumping to the music.
Yep.
And I swear to God, if that wouldn't have happened, we probably would have been in critical condition.
What do you chalk this up to?
This is Final Destination.
Yeah, honestly, I think that everybody kind of, like, everything is kind of perceived to us, and we just decide whether or not we want to take it in, because I've had other things that have happened. Because shortly after that, I was in the shower, and all of a sudden I get out, and I'm like, oh, something's wrong. Something happened to a family member, and all of a sudden I looked to my now husband, and I was like, something's wrong with Jesse, who was my brother-in-law at the time. And about an hour later, we get a call that he's got into an accident. He was in emergency surgery. And it just happened to be his arm, so it wasn't like he was going to die, but still.
Yeah. Wow.
This is crazy.
See, when you see
was.
something, as far as your premonitions, you got to say something because you never know.
Yeah, I don't see him as much anymore. I was kind of a stoner back then, so I think that's I probably perceived
Now
it
it
a little
comes.
bit
There
more.
it is.
You
There it's
just
all coming out.
discredited
There
everything
it's all
you
on.
said.
He's like, yeah, I saw this headline, but I was high AF.
But that's
All right.
exactly what I was looking for. Good
Sandra,
job.
thank you. Hold on. By the way, the shadows thing, we got a text from a girl named Mallory who said, those are skinwalkers. They're trying to lure you out. I've never heard of a shadow people or skinwalkers.
You've never heard of a skinwalker?
No, what's a skinwalker?
They're like tall and skinny and they like look like aliens and they move weird and they're captured on camera all the time. They're not very smart.
We worked for so many years to try and make this show something that people can actually trust and rely
No, we
on, and then
haven't.
we do this topic. If you were to describe the first 2 months of 2025, but you had to only do it in 5 words, what would your 5 words be, Kat?
5 words would be promising,
Okay.
accomplished, tasks. Got a good little list going. Deals. This is going to be like, I've been getting a lot of deals on things lately, and I like the feeling, so I'm going to keep going with it.
Okay.
And baby. I'm very excited to welcome a baby. I can't say whose,
Oh, not yours.
not mine, but can't wait for the scrunches and the smells. And
What are we looking at for baby time?
baby time is in June. We have a baby coming in June and cannot wait. So,
I would have used fun,
okay.
shed. Like
Yeah.
our whole priority was getting our shed dialed in, and it's now like the ultimate man cave. Birthdays seemed like everyone I knew had a birthday in January or February. Family, got to spend a lot of family time because the kids were around a lot.
Yep.
And then laughs. I had so many laughs. When I look back and I think about the laughs we had in the Dominican Republic with our listeners, like those would be my 5. So if you had to put together 5 words to describe 2025 so far. Katie, give me 5 words that describe your 2025 so far.
Kind of, but going okay.
Okay. Optimism.
Okay.
Kind of. You know what she said there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hannah, you're up next. Give me 5 words.
Interesting.
All right. Tell us more.
Every time I go outside, I fall.
Okay.
That will get better.
I hope so, because
Give-
that would be no way to live.
Give us 4 weeks. Gracie, you got 5 words for us?
Blessed, grandchildren, prosperity, hope, and love.
There.
I love all 5 of those. I was
a
hoping
good
for
one.
5 positive words.
Jake, can you match that positivity?
I'll do my best, maybe.
There it is. Maybe. I'll do my best
my
for
best,
you.
maybe. Okay.
Maybe. If you had 5 words, what would they be? Anika said a load of bullcrap.
Oh, was she talking about something else?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's 5 words, so I thought that's maybe what you're going with. But if you had 5 words to describe your year so far, what would they be? Saturday, my wife and I legitimately have nothing to do. So I said, hey, let's go into town. Let's get some lunch and kind of see where this takes us. So we go in, say hi to an old friend that owns this place, have a nice lunch. And then I said, what if I just drive you around to some of these little town bars? You know what I mean? We've done this before and we had a lot of fun. We find ourselves, and I'm not going to say which place it is, we find ourselves in one of these rinky-dink, just only, there's like a city with a post office and a bar and a church.
Yeah.
And so we go in and we have a cocktail, and we're just kind of, trying to talk to the locals, just kind of be a townie. And all of a sudden, this guy gets up from the end of the bar, grabs a sack of potatoes that was sitting next to him, and leaves.
Was it his date?
I don't know, but my wife and I sat there for the better part of 15 minutes trying to figure out how you get a sack of potatoes at a bar.
How do you get it into?
No,
or
he
at a-
left with it.
Oh, you don't know if he came with it,
He
though.
didn't.
Oh, he just ended up with a sack of potatoes.
So he went to the bar, probably had a beer or two, talked to some townies, did some rippers,
Yep.
had a couple of pretzels, and then bought a sack of potatoes from the bar. You ever
Okay.
seen anything like that before?
I haven't.
So-
I didn't know that you could purchase those.
I didn't either. So we're struggling with this. Mentally, I'm like, where's this? What bar is selling potatoes out of the back?
Some bars, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Like if I were at a martini lounge, if I were at a bar where they have the pickled egg barrel, I wouldn't be surprised.
So we start asking, right? Like, first we come up with all of our theories as to why this guy's leaving the bar at like 7 p.m. with a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, but there's a small little like country store attached to it.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that. But basically, you just asked the bartender, hey, can I get 20 pounds of russets on the way out? And they put it on his bill.
Wow.
You ever seen anything like that?
No, I haven't. No. I've gone to really weird bars. That's one of my favorite things to do is just to people watch.
Yeah.
And when you're the odd man out, but no, I've never seen.
I just love striking up conversations with both. There's a guy by himself on a bar stool. What's going on in his life? Why is he there at that exact moment?
Have you ever been so drunk where you buy a bag of pork rinds?
No.
Okay. I've been there.
That's you?
I've been there.
William, good morning, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Weirdest thing you saw at a bar? Did you ever see a guy buy a 20-pound bag of russets?
No, something more interesting.
Oh, man.
I moved up from New Orleans, so I've seen a lot in the bars down in New Orleans. Well, my friends decided to take me out my first weekend up here. We ended up at a bar in Foley, Minnesota.
Okay.
So we go in. We're looking to shoot pool. We go there. There's a whole lineup of high chairs, pack and plays, and bouncy swings. And then right next to it, there were Tupperware and sex toys hanging on the wall for
Wow. I feel like this is a joke. Like you walk into a bar and you see a high chair.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me, really? And yeah, she said the bartender sold stuff on the side and she was trying to expand the business, so the bar owner let her put her toys and Tupperware on the wall. And they had family night on Friday and Saturday nights where people could come in with their babies and put them in a pack and play or the bouncy swing while they're drinking at the bar.
Now, you're not under the impression that they've ever grabbed a high chair and then grabbed a toy for their kid to play with, right?
That's the first thing I thought of, but I hope not.
Yeah.
I've never once gone into a bar, a tavern, a saloon, and seen a little pack and play where all right, if you want to take a nap or play with some of your toys, Dad and I are going to go belly up at the bar. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it was right there in Foley. I don't even know, it was so long ago, if the bar's still open. But, yeah, I asked the bartender. She said, yeah, parents bring their kids in and put them over in the corner. And
so when that stuff's not getting used, their friend is selling Tupperware and adult toys on consignment in the backside of the bar.
Yep, right on the wall above the pack and play and the swings.
I can't believe that that's part of their inventory, that they're allowed to sell that. And that's quite a side hustle. Yeah. Normally you choose one or the other, the Tupperware or the sex toy.
Pretzels or food or something like that, but then you need the 3-footer.
I mean, Foley, there's not much out there, so I guess.
You're really taking on Foley today.
His main objective is to call in a hammer on Foley. Now, there's fine qualities of the people in Foley, but this one kind of surprised you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for sharing. I'd never heard anything like that before. So we got the russets, we got the toys, we got the Tupperware, we got the pack and plays. We're putting together a pretty good little list here this morning.
Yep. I will actually, I have to head out through that way. This evening, I will stop and see if it's still open and go in and see if it's still
Do a little recon for us, man. I appreciate it. I always got people looking out for us. Thanks, William. Have a great morning. Another fun show planned for you Tuesday on our live show at 7:20. We could put $50,000 in your pocket. You definitely want to be here for that. And if you're a big fan of Darius Rucker, he is coming to the Ledge in Wade Park this summer. We've got more free tickets for you at 8:05. So join the live show and catch up with the rest of the podcast right now.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody!
OPP, it's other people's problems. Tracy had shot us a message, and it was a little bland as far as what do you guys do to save money? And we dug in a little bit deeper. We said this would be a perfect opportunity to get some other people's problems on the radio. We know you guys are trying to budget some stuff. What does your husband want to cut out here?
He wants to cut out date night.
Date night. So, do you guys go on them often? Is it once a week, once every couple of weeks?
We usually go every other week, and it means so much to me because, we were so busy with the kids and their soccer practice and everything. And I'm kind of shocked, honestly. Like, I'm a little insulted as a woman.
That would be his first one to go. I would be very insulted as well. And you just answered your question right there. It's very important to you. So you got to find something else.
But you also realize it's not important to him, though. Like, he obviously, if this is the first thing he wanted to cut, this isn't a big deal to him.
That would make me feel kind of sad. And if it is just truly to save money, you guys should challenge each other to come up with creative at-home date nights and bring the kids to grandma's house or something.
Or embezzle.
Or sit in your car. JJ and his wife sit in their car and eat cheesecake.
Yeah, we've done that before.
That's their dates. So
that's really romantic that they eat cheesecake in the car together?
Yes. So
we'll just find an empty parking lot and eat some cheesecake. That's how we roll.
I mean, it doesn't have to be something massive like this $100 dinner out every other week. It could just be something small where you guys connect.
Yeah, I mean, you choose tobacco. That's pretty expensive with the taxes.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure we've all got little habits we could cut out. And if that means preserving date night, you're probably okay. I'd be interested to see what other people think about this. So we're going to put you on hold for a second and turn it over to our listeners, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Doing some OPP and just kind of wrapping it up. We talked to Tracy just a couple of minutes ago, and the text had come in, and she was like, "What do you guys do to cut down on your budget?" And we talked a little bit more about it. Her husband wants to cut out what?
He wants to cut out date night.
So she says it's very important to me.
And then she also brought up the fact that he has some things that he spends money on that could easily rack up enough to at least have one date he'd choose. And tobacco is not inexpensive at all. And so to ask him to give that up, one, healthy for him, and two, it will continue doing something that she loves, and it brings them together. So I think that it's definitely worth a conversation. But I don't know. I like sitting down and seeing everything that we're spending money on and saying, are you serious? Oh my gosh, look at how much money we could save.
And my wife's in finance, so I don't get to be part of these discussions. She
just tells you to stop?
Yep. She just goes, don't do this anymore. And then I don't because I'm a good husband. People are texting in beer. Yeah. And then I got this text from Shauna, and she said, found out when I wasn't working for 2 months due to ankle surgery, I cut out everything but paying bills and food. No restaurants, no Caribou, no fast food.
Oh, my God. You know what I read? That Starbucks in 2050, one coffee, a small, will be $15. That's no world I want to be a part of. I'll just continue to make my coffee if that's the case.
I think that's what a lot of people do. They'll just go, okay. But there's something about that experience, too. Like, they've done a good job where you like walking in there, right? So, and then maybe sometimes it's a treat. I mean, probably most people aren't getting a Caribou or a Starbucks every day.
I wonder who those people are that go there every single day and how much money you're spending every
You're probably single with no kids.
Probably.
That's who you are. Hey, Amy, thanks for helping us out here. What would you cut out? If you had to, kind of make sure that you had money for date night, you would cut out what immediately?
Oh, probably some of our streaming.
Yeah.
Good call on
That's
that.
where a lot of people don't realize that they are paying for way more. There's that one service that will show you a lot of stuff that you signed up for that you forgot about.
It's an app, right?
Yeah, it's like your streaming services, subscriptions that you could get like hundreds into your pocket every month.
How many streaming services do you think you have right now?
Oh, we have a lot. I think all of them.
And then you probably are only using one or two, right?
Yeah, mostly Netflix and probably Amazon Prime.
Do you feel, what's your fear? Is that when you get rid of one, then a show that you really want to watch is going to pop up on one? Because that's mine.
Oh, yeah.
That FOMO will get you, man, every time.
Yes, it will.
If you had to cut one out, Kat, and you could only go down to one streaming service, what would it be?
I would probably get rid of, oh my gosh, HBO Max. Now that Curb is done.
No, you have to get rid of all of them except for one.
Oh, all of them except for one? Okay. I would just keep Netflix.
Yeah, I think I'm the
That's
same. I do like Prime, though.
Yeah, but I would have my Prime because I have Prime. Like I have
well, then
Amazon
you can't have
Prime.
Netflix anymore, then.
I don't like this game. Let me keep two.
I mean, if you had to have one, I think most people would probably say Netflix, but like we watch a lot of YouTube TV, so I think that would be just for
Nothing's
sports.
free on Amazon Prime, but barely anything is free. Everything has that little yellow lock on it. So
You just got to watch their commercials. I guess I don't mind that much, but if you could only survive with one, what would it be? Employee of the Month. You ever worked anywhere that you won this prestigious honor, Kat?
I've only worked one place that they did this, and that was at the Rainforest Cafe. they would do it, and it would be right up by the big purple elephant where you would check in for your adventure to begin.
They would say,
They would have whoever's face is there.
James Williams, Employee of the Month.
Imelda, whoever. I never got it.
I worked at one place that did it. It was at the Dairy Queen in my hometown.
Okay.
And my friend Jeff won it the very first month he worked there.
Go, Jeff.
And they got fired right away.
Oh. So what did he get it for? Sometimes they have like an explanation.
I think
like
he was
you said, top sales.
He was really good about like the cleaning. Like, you'd have to go out and wipe down the tables
great.
and stuff like that. He was very good at that. Like, he cared about the cleanliness of that place, where I was like,
I get the mission of doing. I get the reason why employers do this, because you want that. Like, oh, so and so got it. I want to work harder to get it myself. But it can also divide people too. If you have somebody up there that should not be up there, So
I threw this up on our Facebook page, and I really thought we'd get a lot of people that were like, I was Employee of the Month.
Yeah.
Here are some of the popular responses so far. No, but I won Citizen of the Year for our local Elks Club. That girl, Trish. Danielle said, I don't think I've ever worked a place where this was a thing. And then my favorite response, when I asked, is anyone won Employee of the Month? Dahl responded with, no, but I did get fired on my birthday from Savers in Columbia Heights.
Oh, my gosh.
So thank you for that.
Fired
I
on your
appreciate
birthday?
that. Now, Anai says she was Employee of the Month. Is that right?
I did.
Okay. And where? What were you
what's
doing?
your job?
It was, when I was putting myself through college, I danced.
Oh, sure.
Not fully nude, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I did win that one time.
Okay, all right. So you're making yourself through college. You're putting your way through college. So, okay, this is an interesting scenario, right?
What's the criteria to be one?
How do you become Employee of the Month at that gentleman's club?
Well, I did get the most lap dances.
Oh, so that's the Mendoza
dancing.
line.
So
nice.
Yes.
So what was the picture? You know how they have to put a picture on like a placard or in a frame? Was it like the neck up, or did you get to show off why you got so many lap dances?
Oh, no, I definitely showed off why I got so many lap dances.
Oh, look at you.
Good for you.
All right.
Get this person real quick. Maybe they.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Were you an Employee of the Month?
Do you want me to talk about, like, it wasn't me, but it was a friend of mine that got it, and then, like, 2 weeks later, they took it away from me.
Okay, so let's not use any names or anything like that, but what happened?
Well, he worked for, I can't say it on air, but he worked for Coburn's. He was a driver.
You just
and he got
it.
He got the Employee of the Month and for driver appreciation for no accidents, no this, no that. Well, then he got a job offer at Quick Trip to drive.
Oh,
so they took
it away.
They took a different job and they took away his Employee of the Month award.
Or 2 weeks later, they gave him a plaque. They had like a lunch for him. We had like little subs from Jimmy John's, and they were like, "He's the Employee of the Month." Blah blah blah. And
yeah,
then,
but was the month over?
Huh?
Maybe the month was over.
No, it's always the previous month. Like, so he got it in December because he was a safe driver in November.
Yep.
And then he decides to take a more lucrative job, or for whatever reason, he took a different job and they took it away.
And he gave it 2 week notice, and they took his plaque away, they took his thing away, they took his picture off the wall, and they let him stay just a week instead of the 2 week notice. And they said, "You can go now."
No, I think you got your timeline wrong. I think they were ready to put another person's face up there, and they took it down to give it to him.
No, they didn't. They didn't. They took it down, and then they walked him through the door and said, "You can leave this price."
Yeah, so I
don't know if I believe that.
Certain companies do certain things for certain reasons, but just the fact that they took it away from him is amazing.
If they said the words "fine," then and then gave it back to him, then
what? Let me ask you this: what do you do for a living?
That's what I do. I drive.
Okay.
I drive a truck. I drive from Nabisco.
Okay. Do they have Employee of the Month where you work?
They don't.
Okay.
No.
This would be a great idea. You should walk in today and be like, guys, we need Employee of the Month, but the criteria.
I'll kick it off.
The criteria, and I'll be willing to be the first.
Yeah.
But if you ever quit, you have to take away all your Employee of the Month stuff. So now you got all these scattered months where there was nobody.
Yeah, right?
It's a great idea. Thanks for sharing with us. That story made my morning. Thank you so much. Morning, I'm JJ. How was Catch?
Fine. You know what I don't realize is that I don't look at you until we turn the mic on. And we are just so consumed with getting stuff done. Your mustache is wild. Like,
it's coming in,
it
huh?
is. You look like a different person.
My wife really likes it.
But what's she going to do with this?
I don't know. Part of me thinks I'm getting punked, right? Like my wife and I are at this. We're at this point in our life where we find great joy in kind of crapping on each other.
This
Not
is
literally,
crazy.
But she's like, I think you got to keep it. You got to keep it. And the guys that I coach in baseball, season's right around the corner. They like it. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'm really, really getting punked.
You look like one of those coaches that would chew really hard gum and like, yeah. So, I mean, if that's what you're going for,
I don't know.
You got it.
Whatever. I mean, I'm at that point in my life where it's been a long time since I've cared what really anyone thought about anything.
Yeah.
Other than the people that are close to me. So, like, if my wife likes it and she's into it, I'm like, whatever. That's I'll keep it for a little longer.
Role playing. You're gonna be like a Mike Ditka.
I for sure look like a guy that sweeps after the shift is done at any kind of factory.
Yes,
I'm the guy that comes in there after that and just kind of cleans up, does my own. Probably got a Walkman on, kind of doing that. So you still not over this thing, huh? You're still struggling
it's just
with
like
the cold?
that dry. I'm good. Like Saturday though was kind of a rough day. I would like get up and just do anything, like walk to the bathroom, and I would need a breather. It was like, oh.
I don't feel that way, but I get like after a really good set when I'm working out, then I've got cough.
Yeah.
But some things are still coming up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, where is all of this stuff living? Because I don't feel.
Now it's a lot of mucus coming up, so it is what it is.
Everybody's kind of dealing with this junk.
So yesterday went down and did the DECA conference, and there were like 3,300 kids that like got their poop in a group. I do not remember being like that. And a lot of them were like freshmen, even sophomores that were like all business. And I don't remember ever being like that. And I was in DECA. And so I got to judge and sit at a table, and they would like come up to you with products, not ones that they developed, but like any product on the market. And you would have to walk into the store, and they would have to go from greeting to the final swipe of the credit card. And so I thought it was good. I mean, this is the new wave of, another generation.
Well, just kids getting a feel for what it's going to be like after they're done with, whether it's high school or college or whatever, just getting a good feel for that. I mean, it's the same as you see this roll around the internet all the time. Well, why are we doing advanced trigonometry when I should be learning how to change my oil or do my taxes and stuff like that? And I think this is just one of those ways to kind of shorten up that learning curve of when you do get to the real world, you obviously understand what's going to go on.
Yeah. And I've never shopped at Sephora. Yesterday, I bought $4,000 worth of things from Sephora. You have to like fake pay for stuff. And this kid upsold me on 2 fishing rods. He's like, listen, your son's a fisherman, right? I said, yeah, he likes it. He's an avid fisherman. And he goes, why do you want him to fish alone? You should
put
have
it back
a rod
in your
too.
court. Wow.
You shouldn't have him out there fishing alone. You should take part in it too, Mom. I'm like, you're right. So I bought $400 of rods and reels, and he threw in a bait caster just because. Right. I mean, he was they knew
their stuff. Have you used one yet? Have you used a bait caster yet?
Yeah, Liam's. Okay.
Yeah.
Not easy.
They're tough to learn.
Yeah. So
you got to get licensed now too. You have to.
No, I fake bought it.
Oh, you fake bought it?
It's fake money.
Oh, I thought you really did.
No, I spent $4,000
This is still the DECA thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you actually went to Sephora and then you went fishing.
No, this like
shopping
13-year-old kid was like, you need not just one.
So he's very good at it then.
Very good. They were very good. This one girl, though, she was like, I had so much hope for her. She walked up. She was just like this big and boisterous girl. She's like, hello, my name is Chloe. How are you? And I'm like, I'm great. How are you? Great handshake, and then it just fell apart.
Oh, no.
Everything like such as the Iraq, such as, it was like that kind of thing.
She's going to end up in radio.
Like, oh, God.
Bingo, how fun.
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo. Bingo, what bingo? Bingo. Bingo.
We like to carve out a portion of each show to get your story on the air. We get to talk about ourselves way too much. I want to talk about you because maybe you're somebody listening who
has been a part of an emergency. Something was happening. He had to call 911. Everyone was kind of panicked. A school bus driver in Cleveland saved 15 kids after their bus on Thursday burst into flames.
This is going to be a bus vehicle on fire. Unsure if it is occupied.
Every child is accounted for. Every child's off the bus.
That guy saved lives.
Yeah, absolutely. But
So you're
total emergency.
You're looking for anyone listening
Who has been a part of an emergency.
and you had to save lives.
Right.
I'm going to go looking for anyone listening who is currently building a house. I want to know how this is going for you. I understand you're anxious. For me, I'm a little bit of a control freak as far as controlling the variables. And I get that you've got a builder and then he's got all these subcontractors and everything like that. But I can't imagine doing it. It's got to be the most stressful thing in the world.
Yeah. I think the part that would be stressful is to make sure that the land is ready. That part would be stressful.
Well, and a lot of these builders, if you buy your land, before it freezes, they'll at least get the basement dug.
Yeah.
Or at least get, if you're going to go on a slab, they'll at least get that done.
And I feel like the prefab place that I was looking at, they have people and that are set in place that'll come in and do the whole shebang.
Hi, Holly. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and you?
We're great. Thanks for asking. Which one do you fit? Which one are you going to get the bingo on?
I get the bingo with Kat.
All right.
Okay.
So you were in a moment of peril and you saved lives, a real emergency. Tell us about it, please.
I was coming up on an accident, and the motorcycle rolled, and the guy driving the motorcycle was laying on the pavement, everything, and I'm medically trained as a CNA and nurse and all that, so I immediately jumped into action, started doing CPR, doing what I can, busting out gloves and syringe, whatever I can do until that man was able to start breathing on his own.
You saved his life.
So yeah, it was. I mean, he sat up. He was able to sit up after the ambulance came, and it was an amazing experience.
Wow.
Do you keep in contact with them now? You know how they're like, 10 years later, they met the one that brought him up from the bottom of the pool.
No, I don't.
Is it safe to say, Holly, that if you wouldn't have, rolled up on this accident, that guy would have died?
He probably would have. He was bleeding, like he still had his helmet on, and he had blood in his mouth and things like that.
No. I bet he'd want to meet you. I would want to find that person and just say thank you.
I don't know. I mean, he could have been passing through. I don't know. It was up in Mora. So.
And you've never just tried to, you didn't look at accident reports or anything to try and find out who this guy was to see how he's doing now? I'd be so curious.
No, because I was just like, I'm here, I'm doing what I was trained to do, and I kind of left it at that.
Well, and some people would crumble. Some people would be like, I'm just going to keep driving. I don't know if I can deal with that. And you just felt the calling. So that's a nurse, though. That's like not normal, or that's normal to hear.
So, Holly, let's say you roll up on an accident, and it's Kat and I. We're in our radio station vehicle, and something semi T-bones us, and you only had enough time to save one of us. Who would you save?
Only because humanity will bet.
That was such a quick answer, Holly.
It was quick, but it was, you knew. You just knew.
I knew. It's a mother thing. I knew.
Yeah, I'm a mom.
How can you even justify making this choice? I can't believe you.
Why do you think you should live because you have more kids than me? Or what?
Clearly I'm doing more in this world than you are. I mean, I'm a better influence on humanity.
Okay.
Your kids are grown. Her little one is not yet.
He still needs me. You're right. And great choice.
Yep.
It's a horrible excuse. I don't think you can ever come on the show again, Holly.
Love it. Thank you.
You're banned.
Aww.
Of
I'm
course
banned.
you can.
All right.
He's acting like it's his show. You come on whenever you want.
Only when Kat answers.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Thanks, Holly.
Bye, girl.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to react to that.